Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Detroit Tigers franchise mode here in MLB The Show 21. So I want to apologize. You guys might have seen on the community tab, or if you've watched the Atlanta Thrashers franchise mode episode before this, you would know that I recorded these episodes, and for some reason the footage did not come up, but the audio did. So I'm just basically going to be doing a little bit of a recap of what you guys would have seen in last episode. And so this will be a very short episode by comparison to a normal 20 to 30 minute video. So I'm just going to recap of what happened in last episode, and yeah, get you guys primed up for next episode so you guys could kind of get caught up in that sense. So yeah, basically at this stage we are at where the draft was. We already had the draft, and yeah, we are 25 and 31, which is not terrible, but not too good either. We're 8.5 games back of that wildcard spot, I think it is, or that top divisional spot, I guess you could say. So I'll show you guys how we did so far up to this point in this season. So if we go back to the start of the regular season, you can see we kind of struggled off the gate, which is not great, but we did have a little bit of a good winning streak here. We had 5 wins in our last 6 up to this point, but then we went back on a losing streak again. So we've kind of been bouncing around quite a bit. A lot of games where we've not been playing that good defensively, like this 15-1 game against the White Sox. That's horrible. And a 7-0 shutout against Tampa. And then then in May, we actually kind of stepped it up a little bit. I think we still probably were around 500. We had a really bad stretch here, though, from the 25th to the 30th, where we lost 5 games in 6 appearances. And then in June, so far, we've only done 4 games where we've won 3 of 4. So maybe June's going to be a better month for us. Who knows? But yeah, this team hopefully could improve upon their last few years. As you can see, with our first 4 seasons, we've been improving every year. First year, we were 59 and 103. Then we jumped to 70 and 92. 2023, we went to 73 and 89. And last season, 78 and 84. So there's a possibility we could be around 500 again this year. If we aren't, it's not the end of the world, because we do have some good prospects that are developing right now, and I will show you guys all their player stats right now, and then we'll get a little bit into our draft picks that we got and all that sort of stuff, just to recap you guys on that. So based on our starting pitchers, their starting pitchers have been pretty good so far. Matt Manning's been solid with that 124 whip, a 330 ERA as well. His record's not that great, but he has an okay FIP if I'm not mistaken. Let me just take a look at that. Yeah, his FIP is not too bad, 373 ER FIP, which means, yeah, he's been playing pretty good. And then Casey Mize has been really good so far with that 2.89 ERA and a 1.05 whip. He has jumped up to an 83 overall. Chauncey's also jumped up to an 81, and he's off to an okay start as well with that 364 ERA, a 1.31 whip, so he is playing pretty much as good as he was last year, I think, maybe a little bit better. But he is winning games, which is really good to see. And then Tarek Skubal has been fantastic. He was in AAA last year. He's replaced Wentz in the roster, and yeah, Skubal has been really, really good. He's 7-3 so far on the season with a 2.33 ERA and a 1.01 WHIP, and I believe he's up there in terms of wins in the league actually right now. Like, he's top 10, so he's been playing really well. And then Spencer Turnbull's probably been our worst pitcher. He has not been that great so far. Like, his FIP is 475, his ERA is 455, so maybe he's actually been okay, but he does not look good by comparison to the other pitchers. And then if we go to our minor league pitchers that are in the system, like David Jordan, he's been fantastic so far. Like, you can't see FIP stats for AAA, but yeah, he looks like he's going to be very good, and he probably will be in our lineup next season because he's a 77 now. Gerald Martin's also been playing pretty good down there in AAA. Like, we've been getting some really good production from our young prospects down there, like Dennis Tucker even, who we just drafted last year. He's a 1.83 ERA and a .87 WHIP. He's almost also got a strikeout per inning, and he's only got 4 walks. So very excited to see if he continues to develop. He's been fantastic so far. And then in terms of our relievers, this is mainly where we've been struggling so far this year. As you can see, Colin Poche, I don't know how it's pronounced. He has a 6 ERA and a 1.92 WHIP, so he's been completely reversed of last season, which is kind of bad. And then Daniel Norris has actually been pretty solid, and same with Tyler Alexander. Michael Fulmer's been horrible, and same with Dylan Files. So we only have like 2 of our relievers that have been doing pretty well so far. So our relief prospect pool has not been great, and we need to continue to develop that. I think we could always change a lot of these starter pitchers to relievers, so that's not that bad of an option to do eventually. Closing pitcher wise, Aoki and Soto have been really struggling, so that's probably why we've been losing games, is because our closers and relievers have just not done good. Like, our bullpen sucks pretty much. Diogo Corona, though, in AAA has been really good so far, and he should be in the MLB probably at some point. Hopefully he becomes a good closer for us. And yeah, that's pretty much that. I did also move Laurencio to a catcher as suggested by Alvin Smith III. He mentioned to do that, so I brought him there, and his overall actually went up as well from a 68 to a 73, so a very good call on that, Alvin. And as you can see, also catcher-wise, Reitz has been horrible so far, I would say. Grenier's not been great, but you get into our prospects, and guys like Hirsch and Bonner have been really, really good so far. Like, Bryson Bonner, I believe, is doing, like, he's almost leading AA in almost every batting stat, like in average and home runs, RBIs, runs, that type of thing. So very excited to see if Bronson Bonner continues to develop. It sucks that he only has C potential, but still pretty good. And then we get into our first baseman. Conrad Colvin's not been fantastic, but batting average wise, but he's been pretty solid. But Fernando Valdez, for his first full season in the MLB, has been really, really good. He's got 8 home runs already, 25 RBIs. He's hitting at 295, 27 runs. Like, he's on pace probably to have, like, I would say, maybe like 24 to 30 home runs. Like, he might make the home run derby at some point. And then we get to our second baseman. Bruhan's been pretty solid with a 262, and he's also up there in the league in steals, which is nice. But the rest of our second basemen have not been that great. Like, Jonathan Johnson's not got a single home run so far in AA. And third baseman wise, Candelario has been up there in batting average and like all that type of stuff as well. He's been fantastic for us. He's probably going to start the drop off soon, I would assume, because he's 31, but who knows, maybe he still plays till he's like 38. And then yeah, Paradis has not been fantastic really. And then you get to our shortstops. Willie Castro's been really good. Bob Montes has been really good in AAA. Luis Garcia has been solid. Also, he's got a lot of RBIs. Vince Means has kind of struggled a bit. He was, I think, our top pick last year, if I'm not mistaken. He's kind of struggled in AA, but hopefully he continues to develop. And then left fielding wise, for some reason, Gary Hara has been horrible so far, I would say, with a 203 average. I don't know what the reasoning is, but hopefully if we continue to develop his contact hitting, that's going to go up. And then we get into center fielders. That doesn't matter too much, but Victor Reyes has been pretty good. And yeah, that type of thing. Daz Cameron's been killing it in double. And right fielding wise, Nomar Mazzaro's been kind of struggling a bit. I believe, yeah, he has 2 years left on his contract. So, and then some of our other right fielding prospects like McKenna have been pretty good. So that's a little recap on the stats. Now we can get into a recap on the draft picks. So with the draft, we had the 10th overall picks, so we did get a blue chip prospect in that one that we took was Rodrigo Messias. He's a 69 overall closing pitcher at 22 with A potential, so I would say it's not too bad of a pick. This guy might end up being a reliever for us because I might go with Corona over him or something like that, but yeah, not too bad of a closer, I would say, for our pick. We also got Jeremy Grubb, who looks okay as well. 65 overall starting pitcher at 20 years old. He only has 78 potential, but he could still definitely develop. We also got Angelo Robles, who's a third baseman that's only 20 years old. 59 overall, so not terrible, but he only has 78 potential as well. We did get Sid Felch, who's another right fielding prospect, 82 potential and 61 overall. We also got DeMarcus Yoder, who's got 86 potential at 20 years old for a shortstop, which is not too bad. But he is only a 54 overall, which is a little bit concerning. So he might be a little bit of a project player. But then this one took me by storm. we got a shortstop that's 18 years old and 74 overall. And he's only got 66 potential. So this guy's got better potential than he's got overall wise, or better overall wise than he's got potential. And as you can see, his contact hitting is already really good. Like, this guy could be a very solid bench option. Jeez, I didn't mean to click through the rest of those. But he could be a very solid bench option. If we can get his like fielding and stuff like that better as well, this guy might actually be a solid roster player at some point, or he could just be a bench option that we go to, and he could probably get some clutch RBIs for our team, I would assume. And then we also got Sammy Chavez, who's pretty solid, 63 overall at 20 years old, 89 potential for this closing pitcher. So overall wise, it was a pretty solid draft. Now, there was one player I was looking at that eventually would get drafted by a different team that I really should have taken, but I didn't. I didn't think he was going to be that great of a player, but he ended up going to the San Francisco Giants. So I'll show you guys him because I wish I would have grabbed him. His name is Eldridge Holy, 87 overall potential pitcher, and he's 18 years old. He's already 72 overall out of the draft, so I kind of wish I would have gotten this guy, but that's a very good pickup for the Giants. Something that they probably need at this stage. So anyways, I'll scroll through the rest of this for a little bit, and that is pretty much the draft. Oh yeah, there was a guy named Elmo, which I kind of laughed at, but this guy's a horrible overall, 39 overall. So anyways, that's a little bit of a recap on the draft. I'll show you guys quickly also how the league leaders are doing right now. As you can see, Candelario is leading the league in batting average, which is awesome. By quite a wide margin, actually, by like over 0.10% or something like that. I don't even know what the numbers are for that. He's also up there in hits, which is really awesome. Triple wise, I think. No, actually, I was in a different league. I'll show you guys the other leagues in a second. Yeah, Vidal Brujan's up there in stolen bases behind only Jose Peraza and Tim Lacastro. Candelario is also up there on base on balls. And in pitcher-wise, as I was mentioning, Tarek Skubal is tied for third in wins, only behind Luis Severino and Wilson Brooks. And then if we go by ERA-wise, also Tarek Skubal is in the top 10 with a 2.33 ERA, which is really nice. And if we go to strikeouts, I think, yeah, Casey Mize is up there in strikeouts, which is nice. And I think in whip, yeah, Tarek Skubal and Casey Mize are both up there in whip. So our pitchers have been pretty solid so far, I would say. And actually, yeah, we're going to go to, what was it? Oh, yeah, we're going to look at the other leagues. So, and then if we go to, like, Double-A, for example, like, Bronson Bonner's been fantastic, hitting 36 hits already. Like, he's been one of the best players, for sure, down there in Double-A. I wish there was awards for Double-A so I could kind of see if any of our young guys win awards, but so far, Bronson Bonner looks like he's going to be one of the best players down there for sure. He'll probably be in Triple-A next season if he develops well. We didn't really have much pitchers up there except for like Logan Shore and Arnold Benjamin, but these guys are players that aren't going to pan out in the MLB at all, so it doesn't really matter at that stage. Well, actually, Arnold Benjamin maybe, because he's only 23, was it that I just saw, or 21? Yeah, he's only 21, so maybe he actually pans out. And yeah, that's pretty much that. And then if we go to Triple-A, which is very awesome so far, Bob Montez is up there in hits, which is great to see, even though he's a bit older. And then if we go to like doubles, Bob Montez is up there because he's a fast player. Garcia's up there in triples, which is awesome to see because he's still one of our best prospects that we traded for a few years back. And then we get into like home runs and stuff like that. There's not really anybody there. But if we go to our pitching prospects, so in wins, we have David Jordan up there with 5 wins. He's tied for 4th best, which is great to see. Bo Burrows is also up there. Same with Pedro Juarez. And then we get into like ERA, for example. We have Gerald Martin and David Jordan both there in 7 and 8, which is nice. And also for strikeouts, we got Charlie Selby up there. And in complete games, David Jordan's already had 2 complete games so far. And if we also go by whip, the best for so far is David Jordan with a 1.08, but Gerald Martin's not far behind with a 1.11. And then, yeah, that's pretty much that. So Overall wise, our prospect pool is doing pretty good so far, and we drafted some pretty good new ones as well. Now, one question I want to leave to you guys is if we want to actually make any trades going into next episode, or just keep the team as is, because as you can see right now, in terms of need, we could use like left fielding, center fielding, second baseman, and catcher wise, but we do have prospects in all those areas, so it's not the end of the world. But our team looks like they're developing quite decently. Like if we look at team rankings and all this sort of stuff, like yeah, we're not up there in any of the batting stuff in the top 5, I would assume, but pitching wise, we might be up there. Oh, what is that? Caught stealing? That's not a good stat though. Strikeout wise, where are we in strikeouts? We're 7th best in strike. Actually, that's for batters getting struck out, so never mind. I thought it was for pitcher strikeouts, I was gonna say. But for ERA wise, we are 11th best in terms of team ERAs, so we're a pretty good pitching team at this rate at the moment. And then, yeah, we've had already one complete game, which is pretty nice. Shutouts, we're tied for first with 5. A lot of teams are, though. Like, so it seems like we're a good pitching team, just we're not that good yet at getting home runs and contact hitting and stuff like that, but I think that should improve. As you can see, we're ranked 21st. Our contact is 14th, so it could improve a little bit. Power definitely needs to improve still at 25th. And then pitching, defense, and speed could all improve as well. Pitching is not too bad right now, but defense and speed definitely needs to. But once we get somebody like Gary Hara into our lineup, I think that should help, because Gary Hara has a lot of good speed and all that stuff. Well, actually, his speed is a 69. It could still improve probably a bit. But yeah, I am very excited to see if Gary Hara could actually make the MLB team this season when he gets called up at September call-ups. And then I'm very excited to see how David Jordan plays when he gets called up at some point, because he's been fantastic so far. One last thing I will show you guys is the top prospects, and then I think that'll be it. But if you guys think we should be making any trades, let me know. But here's the top prospects. As you can see, David Jordan is the 3rd best prospect right now in the top 50, which is great to see. He's only behind Jackson Rutledge and Marco Luciano. But as you can see, also some like closing pitchers that went a few years ago, like Daniel Batista's up there, which is kind of cool. Diego Corona is number 7, which is great as well. He's probably going to be in the lineup next season. Andy Weinstein, who I think was drafted by the Marlins, must have got dealt to the Pirates. But as you can see, this is the top 50 prospects. We also do have Luis Garcia down here at number 24. And then also Gary Hara has dropped down to the 35th, which kind of sucks. But if he gets better during the regular season, he will definitely go up. Like, I think this is all just sorted by overall. And then Riley Green has also cracked it now, and he is 46th. So anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this little recap of what happened. I apologize about the issue again. Hopefully that doesn't happen in any future episodes. So let me know what you guys think down below, and I will see you guys next time.